Afternoon, good morning, whenever you are watching this video. My name is Tara Anders. I'm a Ruby Ambassador with Plexus, and I am here today for our book club. This is part 3, chapter 8, a formula that will work wonders for you. And the principle from this chapter is principle number 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. And I'm just going to highlight a few things that I really enjoyed reading from this chapter. A super short, really easy read chapter. For those of you who haven't read it yet, I would encourage you to do so. This is more like seeing things from other people's viewpoint. And of course, that is important in life in general and in our Plexus business. So I have a few things underlined that I'm going to read to you and a few points to make, and I hope that you find some of this information helpful for you in your Plexus business. So one of the first things I have underlined is in the first page of the chapter. How would I feel? How would I react if I were in his shoes? So as we're sharing Plexus with people, how would I feel if I was on the opposite end? A little over 2 years ago I was. And how did I react to people sharing Plexus with me? The success in dealing with people depends on a sympathetic grasp of the other person's viewpoint. So that's what we're getting at in this chapter today. One of the very first stories that the author shares, I love all these stories in this chapter, and I'm going to highlight a couple of them, was about a couple who his wife loved to do yard work, and she loved to pull weeds, and she found joy in that, but he didn't, and he never did anything to help her. But through a series of events, he wound up in the yard with her one evening pulling weeds. And the result was a happier life for both, because he had learned to look at things from her point of view, even if the subject was only weeds. So I think that's pretty important. Starting your conversation by giving the other person the purpose or direction of your conversation. Governing what you say by what you would want to hear if you were the listener. Accepting his or her viewpoint will encourage the listener to have an open mind to your ideas. So always be on the lookout and be listening for their viewpoint so that you can adapt your conversation and what you say to how they feel. We just always have to remember that we're trying to share a story, and we're trying to share Plexus, and we don't want to come across as not caring about how they feel and their viewpoint on the products, on the business. So we just have to remember to be good listeners. I'm going to read one of the stories to you. Again, I encourage you to read this chapter yourself, but this story really stood out to me. Seeing things through another person's eyes may ease tension when personal problems become overwhelming. Elizabeth Novak of New South Wales, Australia, was 6 weeks late with her car payment. On a Friday, she reported, I received a nasty phone call from a man who was handling my account, informing me if I did not come up with $122 by Monday morning, I could anticipate further action from the company. I had no way of raising the money over the weekend. So when I received his phone call first thing Monday morning, I expected the worst. Instead of becoming upset, I looked at the situation from his point of view. I apologized most sincerely for causing him so much inconvenience and remarked that I must be his most troublesome customer, as this was not the first time I was behind in my payments. His tone of voice changed immediately, and he reassured me that I was far from being one of his really troublesome customers. He went on to tell me several examples of how rude customers sometimes were, and how they lied to him and often tried to avoid talking to him at all. I said nothing. I listened, and I let him pour out his troubles to me. And then, without any suggestions from me, he said it did not matter if I couldn't pay all the money immediately. It would be all right if I paid him $20 by the end of the month and made up the balance whenever it was convenient for me to do so. The next thing says, I love this. I underlined it and started. Tomorrow, before asking anyone to put out a fire or buy your product or contribute to your favorite charity, why not pause, close your eyes, and try to think the whole thing through from another person's point of view. Ask yourself, why should he or she want to do it? And we've got to be able to answer that question from another person's point of view. Why do you think that these people that you're sharing Plexus with need it? We all know why, but from their point of view, we need to make it appealing to them and not judge them. So if as a result of reading this book, you only get one thing, an increased tendency to think always in terms of the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as your own, if you only get one thing from this book, it may easily prove to be the one stepping stone for your career. So I love that. Just making sure that you look at the other person's point of view. So, next time you're about to ask someone to buy our product, pause first and make a list of reasons you want them to do it, a list of reasons that they would want to do it. And when you are writing them a message, only mention the reasons from their list and not yours. So we have our reasons behind people wanting to do Plexus and join us, but why do they need Plexus? We need to do it from their point of view. So I hope that you've learned something today. Again, the principle number 8, try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. That's in our life every single day, and of course always as we share Plexus. Again, thanks for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed this chapter as much as I did.